Join the crew as a member of the Onyx Key for exclusive members-only messages, redirections, and content. We already have a bunch of videos live with some familiar topics as well as new questions, so I'll see you on the other side of the Onyx Key. Make sure you hit the join button to go deeper down this experience with me. Hey family, so we're back with another Visions of Venus reading. We're going to see what you're attracting and your divine feminine Venus energy. So we basically want to see what's manifesting as you prioritize your receptive magnetic energy, right? What abundance is coming in, what wealth you can anticipate on all planes, how much can you contain, how much can you hold, and all stuff like that, right? Just that's the gist of why we do these readings. Today is an interesting day. I'm filming this on a Friday in anticipation of making it live on another Friday, okay? So we're definitely in alignment with the energy. The energy is very woo-woo because I did film the spirit animal bird reading for channel members. One of the piles redirected to at least 1 to 2 of the piles here. So I'm here, and I don't know why, but I'm also filming this out of order. The point is, this reading is clearly important because the secret admirer reading that you saw 2 days ago on the public side, I'm going to film it right after this one. And I don't know if this reading is going to bring more context to that reading for some of you, as in you may mentally need these messages before you're able to process those ones. I was just making sure like you're aware of that, because I don't usually film readings out of context like that unless I seldom film readings out of order like that unless I know it's going to be a big one with a bunch of notes and things like that, and I know I can knock out a bunch of easier ones. This isn't really the case. There's no reason for this one to be filmed before the Secret Admirer one unless that timing is relevant for those of you watching, okay? So, I also want to make a mention of the random alignment of colors, not numbers. So, and I don't know who has an affinity for the color sage, like a sage tone, okay? Because it's loud, it's coming through prominently. I know y'all like the tablecloth I had. I love my tablecloth too. The reason you haven't seen it is 1 time, and 2, I had lost it. But when I dug out those bird decks for the spirit animal bird reading, I found it. So maybe we'll put it back on the table sometimes now that we have it again. But in the meantime, those shades are a thing. Pink and sage, right? I don't know why, because I also randomly decided I want to start using this deck again, which we will because it's a pink reading. And just the combination of coloring is throwing me off. Okay? So let me know if that combination, I don't know if someone's like wearing that or if you decide you're going to put together some of you are coordinating these shades in some way for some reason. Let me know, because that's just confirmation in your right place, right space. It's just very, very odd. And I don't normally pay attention to the colors like that, but it was a thing. And the only reason I have these 2 decks is because this one randomly surfaced and I needed this one for the bird reading. Okay. All right. One thing that I want to mention, I know a lot of you have difficulties selecting your piles. Don't stress. For this particular reading, I'm realizing go what naturally throws itself in front of you, right? Like, let's say you were going to pick one based on what you like, what you wanted to taste. Go what naturally throws itself in front of you. That's going to be relevant in a variety of areas of life, but that's what I'm hearing, especially since Y'all know, if you're familiar with this series, I like to use a bunch of pink decks. So I absolutely went out of my way to grab the pink graffiti deck, which is the volume 2. And in me doing that, I think that was for me, the reader, what that color coordination was for, is this deck is not gonna give me what I need today for you guys. I need to go ahead and use this one, volume 3. Okay, so take what throws itself in your face, not what you would have just tried to gravitate towards. And that's all in alignment with the theme today, by the way. I hope y'all are aware. And so, in me not wanting you to be thrown off in selecting your piles, I also don't want you to be thrown off by the way I read. So, for those of you that are new, I read and channel past, present, as well as incoming energy. I do read a polarity, which means there's a light, as well as a shadow. You just have to find yourself in a lesson, in a journey, okay? I'm really excited for everybody selecting piles today because, like I mentioned, we're rolling with this deck. Even though it's not pink, it has pink themes, so it's close enough, right? This deck has more to offer what we're asking about today than this version. I don't know why. We don't ask too many questions. We roll with it. But in this deck being cleansed before I put it away, we have the bottom of the resets locked and loaded. Yeah, it's 2 humongous stacks. Notifications, put a ring on it. So some of you, all of you, this is going to be relevant. Some of you, it may be literal, right? You may get messages about an engagement, or maybe you may get engaged, or maybe you may get exclusive in some type of love connection, okay? Some of you are going to meet the person you're going to eventually get engaged, possibly married to, right? Some of you are going to get notifications about some type of formal commitment. Doesn't have to be love. Could be a contract, could be a business deal, some monumental partnership. It's just some type of commitment, formal commitment with a literal physical symbol coming in. Whether the messages about that, if it's not you directly, will heavily impact you, influence you, and benefit you, okay? Or if this is direct, okay? So I just wanted to give that clarity to everybody selecting piles today, and I will see you in your pile. So now that we've done a lot of chattering about stuff, I'm gonna go ahead and hold the thumbnail up so that you can choose your Visions of Venus pile. Pile number 1 is the red velvet macaron with the pink filling. Pile number 2 is the strawberry blondie brownie. Pile number 3 is the pink rose cake. And then pile number 4 is the raspberry tiramisu. I'll give you a moment to make your selection. And if you need more time, go ahead and pause the video. All right, pile number 1, my red velvet macaron with the pink filling. Let's talk about what you're attracting with your divine feminine Venus energy. And you know, I've been looking forward to this pile because I'm very curious as a reader, right? Just to see what's going to come out. So you are, in fact, the dessert that surfaced in the spirit animal bird reading, okay? I don't know if this video is going to get notes, but it's definitely going to be mentioned in that bird pile for those of you that are members. Now, the reason why it's also intriguing is your messages. If you're the type that just kind of listens to what I'm saying in passing, I'm not offended. This is not a reading you can do that with. Like, before I even get started, get settled, like, sit down, because I don't know what I'm gonna say, but it will be important because I never wanted this dessert. It's beautiful. I love how it came out on the thumbnail. It's not something I would have naturally just even thought to put there. So when symbols arise that are beyond my natural scope, it means it's a real message that even if you weren't looking for it, you need it, okay? And I'm not saying that it's going to be shadow-esque. I'm not even getting that vibe. It's just pay attention, because I was looking for desserts that would match this thumbnail. And this one just kept, like, macarons, like, pink ones kept throwing themselves out. The red ones kept throwing themselves out, just like the redirection in that bird pile. And I overlooked it at least 4 to 5 times before I said, you know what? I really don't have anything else to put here. Let me just roll with it. Okay, some of you, that's the context of what you're attracting. The manifestation is you're not realizing you wanting or needing something until it just keeps throwing itself at you and you realize it clicks one day. That's why you need to pay attention, because that's how your pile got here. Okay. All right. So let me get you an overview so I can see what's going on. Let's see. Tell me about my red velvet macaron. And here's the thing as well. I didn't realize it was red velvet until I checked. So it was red. The picture was pretty. It matched. I didn't have anything else to put there, so we rolled with it. When I needed to name everything, that was when I realized it was red velvet. So especially those of you that really like red velvet, it wasn't a conscious thing. We've got fire, confidence, optimism, passion, and bravery. Look at you. Okay. Venus. Okay, you might have Venus in a fire sign. That's why we got all the red, all of the passionate people with Venus associated with fire look really good in red. So some of you may need to be told to tap in with the color red a lot more, or pink, which is a gentler frequency of red. Okay. That's definitely something you need to know. Red might just be symbolic in some way, but I'm talking about the placements or transits of Venus in Aries, Venus in Leo, Venus in Sagittarius. Okay. Very fiery, very vibrantly beautiful. This is hilariously enough, you're opening the reading. When I cleansed the deck to put it away, the animal deck, I had the spirit of the peacock where it settled. And I do believe that was a prelude to your pile, because you got a lot of attention coming, whether in the context of just like being popular or just being the type of person that attracts interest upon meeting, right? So I'm talking popularity, maybe social media, maybe being like a top performer at work, versus just being a person that walks into a room and everybody's just nosy and want to know who that is. Okay. So let me see where we're going with this. That actually is in alignment with that peacock energy. Stay tuned with the site. Let me see. Tell me about. Oh, okay, I got all my cards. I got a Queen of Swords. Five of Pentacles. Okay, let me explain something to this group. Your knowledge, your intellect, wisdom, or even just the way you communicate is your greatest resource. I know we're trying to see what you're attracting, what you're manifesting, but please know that what you're attracting, what you're manifesting is going to be in alignment with those things, the way you think and the way you move, okay? Yeah, got the Tower. Your shadow work, okay? Whether you call it that or not. Any developmental things that you do, right? To improve yourself. Any forms of self-improvement. I'll say it like that. Your greatest attribute. That is your glow up, okay? And so any information or knowledge you have available that you're using, or if you're really early on, you're just sitting on trying to figure out if you should use the information, how to use the information, how to apply this knowledge, that is what unlocks everything you're looking for, okay? That is the step. That's the detail that you're missing if you're missing it, okay? If you're not missing it and you're putting it into play, be consistent, okay? Because that's what I have here. So let me see why the specific graffiti deck needed to be here. At the bottom of the reset, I do have side hustle. Some of you, it's gonna be a side hustle that is gonna attract this energy, okay? Some of you are being encouraged, yes, you do need a side hustle, okay? Something you're passively doing. Did I start tearing this deck already? I did, look at me. I mean, it's fine, it's just a deck, but still. I barely used it. All right, let me see. Innocent flower, serpent underneath. Okay. Dual nature, pure and gentle on the surface, but has a hidden, more dangerous or cunning side beneath. I love it. This is a pile of brilliance. Okay. This is the group of you where you may look very sweet and innocent and docile. You probably have a really vibrant personality, but there's a sharp edge underneath you. That's that wit, that intellect that's gonna take you far. Okay. Knowing how to balance your masculine and feminine principles are really gonna maximize what you're doing. Okay. So some of you might be a little more hyperactive because we do have a lot of air and fire energy, which means someone that may be a little more comfortable being active and exercising their more masculine expression. That's cool. There's nothing wrong with that. That is your greatest attribute. But learning to harmonize that with the duality of your feminine expression, that's what's going to benefit you. Okay? Keeping that, but also allowing the receptive. It's just like what we talked about at the very beginning of your POW when I was saying to sit tight and pay attention. Going for this, being active towards this, active towards that, and then there's something pushing itself in front of you that's very easily accessible to you that you could just accept rather than chasing the harder path of like fighting for this one thing when I can just take this and it's just as good. That's the wave. That's the thing that needs to click for you. And then you're going to see great enhancements. So let me see what we're doing here. I got child neglect. This is you. You have been neglecting your inner child. Now, there isn't a theme of children being neglected, whether the shadow of you or this is your history, your past. I'm not here to dig up y'all's trauma. That's not the nature of this reading. You know if you fall into that category in whatever way it resonates. The point is that shadow work, that developmental energy beyond that, because it's loud. All of you have that energy in some form. Even the Five of Pentacles, which is the poverty card, has a little boy. Okay? Sweet little child. So it's here. This just means that everybody selecting this power, you need inner child work. You may struggle with hyper independence. You may struggle with not knowing how to be receptive. Okay? And that's literally the whole point of this reading, is learning how to do that. Okay? Because a lot of you are very hard, very active, very powerful, and underneath it's just a sweet little child looking to be supported. I support you, all right? I definitely do. So let me see. What do we got here with this red velvet macaron? I got the sirens, and that's you have that energy, by the way, right? This is not a specifically gendered thing. The siren energy is absolutely the innocent flower serpent underneath. It's a person that's a master manifester because they have the ability to be a master manipulator. And I know that sounds so bad and chaotic when I say it, because it's usually bad because people like that are more known about it, they use that for evil, right? They use that for selfish reasons and things like that. But here, anyone that has the ability to influence people is a manipulator. Like, you know, people don't like to be called that, but that's the reality. Is the only way to be a good teacher, like our teachers. We love our teachers, right? But the only way to be a good teacher is to be able to command a room, to command an audience. If you can't command an audience, then no one hears what you're saying. You have to have that siren energy. You have to be able to get people to hear what you mean, whether what you're saying is good or bad, right? The manipulation isn't the energy, isn't the issue. It's what it's used for, okay? And the ethics of how the person is applying it, right? Because that's what we've got, okay? Getting more serious. You're probably the intro for sure, which makes sense because, like I said, I skipped the reading to get straight to yours, but following those bird readings. But getting more serious says moving from light and casual to more focused, meaningful, or grounded, and planning roots. This is your nature, by the way. You're like, so here's the thing. Some of you are just really energetic. I mentioned it in one of those word readings, hilariously enough. A lot of people, when we talk about energy, there are people that experience a lot of energy in their aura and then they freeze up and shut down. There are people that experience a lot of energy in their aura and they just start trying to outwork the energy, right? They start scattering their energy in return, right? Doing a lot of things and not getting any results. This is a pile of learning precision, learning to properly wield your knowledge, your experience, your intellect, right? Knowing how to move and who to move with, okay? It feels like maturity, but it feels like maturity in alignment with inner child healing. That's what you're attracting. And that's really the key to life for you, okay? There is a partner coming in. Okay, be careful what you wish for, especially those of you that like one of your main priorities is manifesting love. Okay? Because there's a duality associated with the manifesting love. There's the side of you where you're just looking for a very specific partner. Okay? Please know, making sure that you're able to ground your energy is very important, and that the inner child healing is important first, because in you getting the exact partner you're trying to call in, or the soulmate that you're just aligning your frequency with, if we're keeping it honest, I see you being very serious, very attached, very influenced by this person. Not that this person's a manipulator. I don't know that I get that. I just get you being so awestruck by getting your exact desired partner that it's like a siren to you, and you kind of not being able to get over it in a way where it throws you off balance, not because anything is wrong with the connection or the person or you, but because you lack boundaries in enough that could throw it off. So keep that in mind. Another thing to mention, if you are the type of person where you're like, I really don't know my type or the exact type of partner I want. I know what I don't want, so I don't want any of this, but I also want to heighten my aura so that I attract the type of partner that would be in alignment with me and the things that I want in my desired life. Welcome to the siren energy pile, because you're enhancing your aura, whether you're doing so energetically or just lifestyle changes or just maturity in the way you live day to day. It's heightening your aura in a way where it's a lot of attention, okay? It's a lot of fixation, okay? You're going to have a lot of romantic options. So where are we going with this? Tell me more about my pile 1. What is so pressing? What else does this graffiti deck has to say? Desensitized. Okay. Gradual emotional numbing or spiritual disconnect. We'll talk about survival mode, limiting feelings or connection. Yeah, just be careful, because those of you that are numb, if you are desensitized, a partner stimulating you could overstimulate you, because you're not used to feeling feelings anymore. Like, especially we talk about 5 of Pentacles, the Tower. If you had a really rough life or something traumatic happened that shut you down emotionally and you're not really expressive anymore, falling in love will feel intense, okay? So just keep that in mind. Let me see where we're going with this. I got a bad taste in mouth, lingering discomfort, unresolved feelings, emotional aftertaste, red flag memory, disillusionment. That's what, okay, so this is not, it's not a shadow pile. It's just a person that needs to do shadow work. I'm talking about you, and some inner child healing. I just don't want you to self-sabotage, okay? And I don't believe you will, because that's exactly why you, look, I split the deck. We're gonna keep it. why you ended up here and why the bird reading sent you here. Don't overreact to this person that comes in romantically, okay? Because you're going to need the discernment, because you're going to have more than one option. There's a specific love, for those of you that are manifesting that, coming in. That's really good for you. And I don't want you to be thrown off by being overwhelmed with all the options that you're going to have, that you choose incorrectly. Because you're going to attract whatever you want to you, right? But do you have the discernment to pick up the right one? That's the question. And that's not exclusive to love. That's in form of jobs, opportunities. Like you're manifesting, you're heightening your aura, because this is a group of you. You've heightened your aura, and now you have all these options. And how do you know which options are the right ones for you, right? The trauma here, and I talk about it in the stuff that I've already shared with the crew regarding the site. I'm being rushed clearly because they want me to talk about stuff I'm not ready to talk about yet on the public side. So just know, you can manifest whatever you want, but can you contain it? How long can you contain it? And what's the barrier to holding it? You need to know that. That's going to be a critical thing we talk about on the site. So as this new love comes in, and you are not used to being loved and valued truly, whether it's childhood trauma, inner child healing, whatever the thing is, whatever the traumatic thing that desensitized you is, this person's energy will be like a siren to you, but it will be, actually, it will be exactly like a siren to you. You're going to feel so drawn to this person, so in alignment with this person, but it's going to feel like something's off. It's going to feel like the person's manipulating you. Some of you might actually accuse this person of like spell work and things like that, because of how drawn to this person you are, how open and receptive to this person you are, because a lot of you are not used to feeling those types of feelings. So you start picking up on discomfort. You start picking up on red flags that maybe don't really exist because of the disillusionment. Like, it's not because of those unresolved issues you have from previous towers, right? Whether we're talking about actual romantic love, whether we're talking about your career, your job, your opportunities, like, don't self-sabotage, because when you're finally in a place of safety as a frequency after survival mode, I think we actually had that card. Your body is not, it takes your body a while to catch up, your nervous system a while to catch up and realize like, oh no, this is a safe situation. So I split the deck with Bad Taste in Your Mouth and got Shadow Dancer, which talks about someone that moves in dark aesthetics, but lives in light intentions. It's shadow work. But some of you, this person is going to feel like a siren in the best and worst ways. It's like you're addicted to their energy, but you're afraid of it because it feels like you're out of control. Okay? And I'm talking about love. I'm leading with love, but I'm talking about all of your opportunities, because we're talking about the container. That is your vessel, which is a critical theme on the site. Keep that in mind. Okay, I'm not ready to give out all the details on the public side yet, because I'm not. I don't like to do that. It's going to make me uncomfortable. That's a boundary. But keep in mind, how much can you hold your vessel, expanding your vessel, the ability to even, because we talk about getting manifestations and being a magnet to certain energy. But being a magnet is step one. Okay? Like, once you do that, like, now what, right? The now what is your issue, okay? So go ahead and sign up when some things are more concrete. I'll start sending out emails to everybody and dropping hints on the public side as well. That way you guys can be prepared, all right? But I don't want this power to self-sabotage. It just feels like that's the thing. So the most amazing thing about it is what you're actively manifesting, you will get, okay? You'll get it. But in you looking to see that, The main thing that your Macarons via your spirit team wants you to know is that don't worry, you're worried about the wrong thing. The manifestation's gonna hit. That's cool. But can you keep it? Can you maintain it? How do you manage it? Right? Because it feels like a lot of you are very gifted at manifesting, or will be soon. And you're calling in things that you're not necessarily emotionally, systematically ready to hold. It's nothing to be scared of. It's just being ready, getting yourself together, right? So keep all of that in mind, because I know there's this huge thing, and I don't know anybody personally. I actually only saw some of this in passing, so I'm not talking about anyone specific because I don't care enough. I've seen it on social media where everybody's like, oh, you don't have to heal to manifest. No, you don't. You don't. But you definitely have to heal to maintain your manifestations. And a lot of people that are saying that, I don't care the age, are very early on in their journey of building their lives. So no, you don't have to heal to manifest. But you're going to see, and I'm not wishing that on anyone, you're going to see what happens if you don't actively heal and do shadow work throughout the process of your manifestations, right? Because I mean, anybody can manifest a job they're not qualified for, right? This is a perfect example. Anybody can manifest a job they're not qualified for. You got it. Boom. You finessed your way into that position. Okay. Now what? You're going to have that job in a year, 2, 3. Can you? That's what I'm saying. So, and I'm not using that literally. That's just the perfect example of what manifesting something that you're not in a position to hold looks like, right? Okay, yeah, you can manifest any partner you want, but your dream partner, you have a very strict list of what your do's and don'ts for a dream partner. Guess what? That person has a strict list too, and you're not in alignment with your own list. So how do you maintain that relationship? That's another perfect spot on example. So these are things I want you guys to consider. I got a couple more decks. Let me go ahead and move on. Stay tapped in with the site, because that's going to be the most important thing. Especially those of you that are wondering what I'm talking about. Some of you are going to skip a step. That's fine. Others of you, there are tools. Okay. The site's going to have tools. So we're talking about gifts, either in physical or mental form from the universe, that will help guide you via me, via other sources. I'm working hard on my stuff. But ring the alarm is them trying to make me talk about something I don't feel like talking about. So if I'm getting annoying because I'm being vague about something that the table's pressuring me about, go ahead and just sign up, right? Signing up is free. And you'll just be able to see whatever surfaces when it surfaces when I'm ready. But something serious is about to happen. Reaction to a threat, empowerment or rebellion, and the truth. And that's manifestations popping off, especially those of you that are using magical tools, those of you that are scripting, whatever your style is, whatever active, because this is a power of you're very, very active in trying to manifest and trying to build your life, whatever you're doing. You're calling it in. I promise. The only concern is once you have it, then what? Right? Then what? We got a nearly wed, which I don't like the way that word resonated just now for the group, because we have engaged to be married, in a committed relationship, almost married, or no plans or intentions of getting married. It's not the worst thing. Nearly wed is you're almost there. So those of you that keep having hiccups in your manifestation journey, if you constantly spike up and down like that tower implies, or even if you're struggling to spike up or it feels like you're dragging, the nearly wed energy is you're almost there. You're missing a critical detail. You're missing a critical step that constantly deflates you or stops you from propelling in the first place. I'll say, as a person that fully understands energy, and that's what I'm working on the site, if you've been prevented from spiking up, that is protection. You got a very gentle, loving spirit team that's stopping you from grabbing more than you can hold, okay? When you're ready, you'll be able to take on more, because spiking up and down is not for the average person, okay? Some people have to spike up and down. That's the only way they learn. If you haven't had that, it's because you're not built like that. That's protection. So when you ascend up in a more stable way, or if by chance you do spike up, it's because your spirit team is going to help support you in maintaining that as best they can, where you're not hard-headed and where you don't need to be told to listen, like I said at the beginning of your pile. Okay? What's this? Watch it. Somebody might have a surprise pregnancy. I forgot, like, I don't know. When I grabbed this stack, this was still there. And it says, finding out you or someone else is pregnant, an unexpected surprise, wasn't planned or expected. Some of you, just be careful. You may be unconsciously attracting a surprise pregnancy, whether you or somebody else. I say that because energy and frequency are manifesting when you don't understand the full laws of the universe and things like that. That's why it's important to know what you're doing, right? The energy of creation is the energy of creation no matter what's being created. So when we heighten fertility, and I'm not a doctor, so like, I'm not telling you that, but I'm saying be careful, because if that's not something you're looking for, like some of you, the surprise pregnancy would be great news. I love it for you. Others of you, you be caught off guard because you're trying to create other things. You don't realize your fertility might be heightened, regardless of your gender, due to that type of energy work. Okay, so keep that in mind. Okay. Because some of you, that's the theme about the love, okay? It is quick. Like some of you going to quickly fall in love, quickly have a child, quickly get engaged, married, whatever the thing. And I don't know that your nervous system is going to have enough time to catch up if you have a heavy, heavy history of trauma. Or even if you don't. Like if you've been stagnant for a long time and then I don't know where that's a spike up in love for you, it could throw you off. This is why I always encourage therapy, nervous system regulation, and all other things. Okay? And I don't want to move on to the next set of cards without mentioning surprise pregnancy is just a shock, a surprise in general. Okay? Like a shock, a surprise in general, which is that spike, up or down. Please know. All right. So let me pull from these love decks from my pile. Yeah, it's a long pile too. But that's okay, because this is the one that I guess needed that. Where are we going with this? Ring the alarm. All of this attention. Your attention's being called to the pile. Surprise, ring the alarm like it's loud. Let your friends help you. Keep an open mind. Your attention may not be in the right positioning right now when it comes to opportunities, all of them. Love yourself first. I mentioned that. Prioritize yourself where you need to heal your wounds, where you need to make sure that your discernment is impeccable, because right now it's saying loving yourself first is a priority. That's going to stabilize your discernment, because right now you need to keep an open mind and let your friends help you. There's people that I don't want to say have more discernment than you, but it's always easier to when you're looking outside in sometimes to catch on to things that the person doesn't realize. There's friends that want you to keep an open mind, or maybe you're attracting friends that are going to open your perspective. Okay? Some of you, your best opportunities, like opportunities, whether career, finance, whether love, are going to come via friends. It's possible. And when I say friends, like true, genuine friends, not those people you have those weird energy with. You know what I'm talking about. So let me see. Tell me more. What is this incoming energy of butterflies? Enjoy the overwhelming excitement and bliss of new or old love. Okay. Where else are we going with this? Okay, we got the Siren's Song. Quite literally, go to the site. Siren's Song is on the site for sure. Self-love is in reverse. Siren's Song is what you need regarding your self-love. You lacking it right now? The Siren Song is going to inspire you. It's going to give you butterflies. It's going to help you prioritize yourself, your own creative endeavors, and things like that. That is specific to you regarding what is going to be on the site. It's not there yet. And I don't know how they keep rushing me, but give me time to get it live on the site and then go there. Okay. All right. Well, that was annoying. So let me see where we're going with this. Okay. My final message for my red velvet macaron. You know, it's just jumping off the table. This one actually makes sense to take. It is an incoming energy of rising joy. So I love it for you. Feel good. Allow yourself to feel good. Don't get suspicious when you're feeling good, because it feels like a group of having trauma where it's like, oh no, this is too good to be true, right? I'm ready for the negativity to surface. I'm ready for the red flags to surface. Can't be this good. No way it's this good. That's the issue this pile has. So yeah, I mean, don't worry about what you're attracting. What you're attracting, a lot, okay? You need to worry about how you're going to maintain what you're attracting. Look at all those opportunities knocking, okay? Opportunities that are going to fill you with rising joy, right? So even rising joy says celebration, elevation, and magic. And it says to let joy be your wealth. When you lift your spirit, the universe lifts you with abundance. So see, being high on life elevates you. So that's a key. But like I said, don't let the discomfort of joy and the discomfort of happiness and celebration make you spike down, okay? Because here we have decisions, opportunities, and readiness, which is that container, because you have a new door standing open. It says, are you ready to step forward? Trust your heart with the decision to step inside or leave. If you're not ready, it's okay to slow your roll on your manifestations. Okay? Because it's part of what's important is manifesting within your container and expanding your container so that you can accept more. Okay? But that requires work that people are saying you don't need to do. I don't believe in that. And don't be listening to people saying you don't need to do shadow work, that you don't need to heal regarding your manifestations. Okay? That goes completely against everything health, wellness, science related. Okay? And the ancient texts of spirituality across religious paths and cultures literally say not to do that. Okay? So who are we to talk about what we feel we've unlocked compared to both science and the ancient traditions? It's not realistic, right? So I am going to close you out, move along to pile number 2. All right, pile number 2, my strawberry, blondie, or brownie. We're going to take a look at what you're attracting with your divine feminine Venus energy. And, you know, I want to leave with our question real quick because I'm excited about this pile. I live for stuff like this, right? So one of the things I mentioned in the intro is that we look for what is manifesting as you prioritize your receptive magnetic energy. Or maybe in this case, if you were to do so, like what abundance would be coming in and wealth on all planes. So this deck, you know, is very aggressive, right? We've got the eagle. Maybe it is a spirit animal guide for you or just symbolic in some way, right? It could be any sign, symbol, synchronicity, personal to you. But I do have eagles on the channel, both on the public side as well as in memberships as exclusives. But regardless of a synchronicity, okay, I got a permission slip, something about a ship, could be a thing, and overqualified. And this is a pile of realizing and finding out in the most amazing way. This is a pile of realizing you've been holding yourself back or you've been held back in some way. Like, this is realizing you are much more than you originally thought. It doesn't even feel like the confidence of manifestation so much as just realizing who you are at your core. And I believe in you. I could see it. I see it. Look at this 3 of Wands. This is me looking way ahead, right? This is looking way ahead, right? So a lot of you might not realize this. I'm hearing possibly for like the next 3 years, you're going to start stumbling into this energy of you're heightening your energy, right? You're prioritizing your receptive magnetic energy, and just naturally, organically, you starting to be seen like you see yourself, but others see like you're overqualified, right? You're much more than you thought, than others thought. Jupiter is expansive energy. It's maximized energy. It's always loud. It's big. It's like the biggest planet, right? So permission slip says giving yourself permission to feel, act, or choose. No longer needing outside approval, and it's emotional liberation. That's where you're headed. And it's going to make you skillful or knowledgeable in a particular area, okay? Because something about right now or recent past, you've not been fully challenged enough. There's so much untapped or underutilized potential. Remember, Onyx believed in you first, okay? It was me. I was here because I love it. I want to be a witness to this group, because it's like you don't believe in yourself. Whatever situation I'm talking about, others don't believe in you, but I do, because I see it on the table, okay? In 3 years, don't forget to tip me. I always make the joke. It's fully appropriate to make in the context of what I'm seeing on the table, okay? So let me see what we're doing right now. Let me put this back. Let me get this overview so I can see where my pile number 2 is going. What's going on? What are they attracting and manifesting as they prioritize their magnetic energy? What is all that? Venus is there. Okay, house 7 in Scorpio. That's Libra rising. Venus in conjunction. I'm not taking this. This is way too much going on. South node in my fixed signs in house 5. We don't have time for all this. Why would you give me all this? There's so many messages. I'm putting it back, but really, really quick, okay? You are absolutely stepping into an era where you're fully in alignment with your Venus energy. Okay? Conjunction. Somebody had asked me why I keep using the word conjunction the way that I do. Is because of astrology, right? Like it's literally like you see it on a card, even though the card isn't thorough. Like conjunctions are planets on top of each other, right? In synastry, so, or in your natal chart. But you're about to be completely in alignment with your personal Venus as it pertains to your natal chart. Contracts, relationships, any legalities and things that are formal and on paper are gonna feel like inheritances. Any debts are going to be absolved, okay? I got the fixed sign energy in the second, not in the second house. Some of you have that in the second house. That's confirmation. You're in the right place, right space, because why I said that would be a Libra. I think I said that this would be a Libra rising. No, this is a Taurus rising. I am so sorry. Both Venus sign risings hit the table very loudly, but Scorpio in the 7th house would make you a Taurus rising. Okay? So yeah. The transit that's coming this summer. I'm trying to, bear with me. I'm trying to work with all this random energy. In the summer, we're going to see the sign of Leo, which rules the 5th house of joy and pleasure, move into the South node, which is putting the North node in Aquarius. So Leo, Aquarius, okay? So as the nodes shift into that fixed axis, something about that gonna bring a lot of joy, a lot of pleasure, a lot of passion for you. Maybe you're in Aries rising, okay? Because that would put Leo in its natural house. There's a lot of placements on the table I don't have time to map out. But just know, if you're selecting this pile, there's something about your natal chart, maybe very specifically a conjunction to your Venus, or Venus conjuncting, aspecting something, right? Maybe you got a Venus in one of these signs, okay? But just know the South Node shifting this summer for the next 2 years, something about the 5th house of joy, pleasure, confidence, creativity, for those of you that maybe you have those fixed placements. And again, that's my Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. I'm not saying that's your sun sign. I'm saying somewhere where those houses are, it's being impacted. And I feel like all these random cards hit the table, throwing me off. And now we have to reshuffle so I can get the one that goes with your actual reading. So why is that important enough to hijack the pile? Where are we going with this for my strawberry? I think I mentioned 3 years though. I did. Okay, so house 11 actually is ruled by Aquarius, which the North Node is stepping into. Lots of friends, lots of groups, lots of organizations, lots of community energy, okay? We got opposition, where you've been blocked from finding your place, your space, right? Where you've struggled to find your soul tribe. I know that sounds very new agey, but I like the words soul tribe because it condenses what I mean by you can be a part of any community you want, but is it yours, right? You can participate in any group you want. Is it in alignment with you and your path? So soul tribe sums all that up. And any opposition to you finding yours is going to be uplifted. Now, that does not mean that you're going to go out and find your place, your space. Some of you, that starts rearranging around you. Like if you're in your right place, right space, and the confusion is a bunch of other people that don't know where they need to be, guess what happens? They start getting shifted and moving, and sometimes you end up one of the last people somewhere because you're in your right place, right space. You just got there early, right? Right? When we talk about looking ahead, 3 of Wands, waiting for the boat to come get you. I always use it that way because that's the traditional imagery, is somebody like, well, they went off and I hope my boat comes to get me. That's the vibe. So what else are they attracting? What's all of this chaos that hit the table? 2 cards. Ha, I love it. So the 9 of chalices, of the cups, with the beautiful fairy, is bringing you something. That's a wish fulfillment. That's the me getting everything I personally want within myself. Okay. I don't know if you just don't see this coming, but they came out together. So what is this? The 8 of Swords. Oh, okay. Everything I talked about when we first tapped in with this pile, you're your own worst enemy. I don't say that to judge you. I say that to awaken you. Okay? Yeah, you are your own worst enemy. You gotta stop. Because the reality is that the blockage to everything you want is you. Thinking you can't. Thinking you shouldn't, so you don't. Like, this is literally the difference between you doing and you not. Okay? And some of you are not still in the 8 of Swords of not doing it. Some of you are stepping into the doing it, and it's so early that you're not sure, but I'm telling you now, if you just start doing what you're supposed to be doing, whatever that is, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Because you don't have an issue attracting. I don't even know that you have an issue maintaining like the other pile. Your issue is confidence and follow through. So let me give a little more context, because that could be vastly misinterpreted. Okay? You want to manifest. So you start attracting things. You align with the frequency of a goal. Maybe you start doing most of the things you need to do in association with the goal. Okay? Right? Let's talk about jobs are easy. You have a specific dream job you want. Okay, cool. you're like, okay, in order to get this job, I'm going to need to get this certification, this degree. Let me start working on these things. I'm going to be a part of these networks and all the things. Okay, cool. Then you get that. And then at the networking events, you don't interact with any other people, or you don't apply to any of the jobs, right? You know what I mean? Like you don't really, you don't like you're like right there, and then the opportunity presents itself for you to just accept or go interview for the job, and you just not. It doesn't seem like it's the right one. That you don't know what it is. You just assume that it's not the right one, so you just don't do it. That's the opposition, okay? And I actually think the opposition to you is associated with alignment with community and the right people specifically. Like there's a misalignment community wise, collective wise. Okay. So I don't know if that's you holding yourself back from the right spaces, places. I don't know if that's just you holding yourself back within the place in the space. Because this could be someone not properly managing their role within the overall picture, okay, or struggling to do so. I don't know. There's a lot of ways this could come through. So let me see. Let me get this last one from this deck, and we'll pull more. So much. Okay, so incoming energy of all of this action. Got the moon. The moon did come out earlier. I got the Queen of Pentacles, and I have the moon. And the clarity of the Ace of Swords. All those cards came out to say literally this one phrase. You're attracting the awareness of where you are making things harder than they need to be. That's you. But I love it because in that being you don't like, it's not that hard. You're making it harder, which means the awakening and the awareness of where and how you're doing that. Immediate switch up. And that's what I was talking about at the beginning. So let me pull from this graffiti deck so we can see where we're going with this. What are we manifesting? 3 cards. Shield, uninhibited, soul's best interest. Hey, I told you I believed in you. Look at me. Shielding yourself is setting boundaries and taking care of your mental and emotional well-being. It says choose distance or silence. So basically not engaging with people in situations that are not benefiting you. I hate to say it like that, but it's the truth. 7 of Wands is kind of like you win in the end of the fight, right? Because it's one person against a crowd. But did you really need to make it that hard, right? Like, could you really just avoided the conflict and went around it, right? Did you have to bulldoze through 7 people? Well, 6 other people, right? Could you have dodged at least some of them, right? That's what it's saying, like knowing, being more smart, more strategic, more efficient in the way you're moving and maneuvering through this plane. Uninhibited says feeling free of shame or restriction in your expression of sensuality, your erotic energy, unapologetically sexy. You're going to be really attractive because you're going to be so confidently you yourself without concern for how other people are going to feel about it. That's attractive. That's going to align you with your ideal people. I always say this, and it's been a while since I've needed to. Your personality and the way you don't want everybody to like you. I'm not saying go out of your way to be unlikable, but everybody is not going to like you. You're not for everybody. This is why I mentioned soul tribe. You have your right people, you have your right place, you have your right space. And so some people are going to oppose that. It's just life. So if everybody likes you, that's a fake and phony nature. You need to be your true self, because where people don't like you, it's just a misalignment. Okay? If everybody likes you, it's because they're not really seeing you. Which is the strategy in some instances. Like, I'm not saying you need to be your full self all the time, 100%, but the danger in not being your full expression of self is that now everybody likes you, so you don't know who actually likes you, right? Because it's a performance. If you're yourself, people don't like you, they won't be around you. Here, people technically don't like you, wouldn't like you, shouldn't like you, but they're around because we're not being completely honest with our personality. You see what I'm saying? So keep that in mind. You will be elevated in attraction, even to people who end up opposing you, by releasing shame or restricting how you express yourself. Because this is a pile of holding back. You can manifest, you have power. I'm not even talking about spiritual esoteric. I'm talking about just capability in this life, right? You just have your own shield up. You're holding yourself back. You're tying yourself up. It's actually in your soul's best interest to stop, right? We talk about serving your deepest truth and your highest potential, even if it doesn't feel good in a moment. So I want to make sure that this pile understands you will feel some discomfort in the near future. The reason why is because you're going to be challenged to, like, when you restrict yourself, that is often in alignment with comfort, your comfort zone, right? It's comfortable if I just please everybody, if I just stay like this, if I don't do too much, if I'm real quiet. No. There's at least one person that's going to come through and challenge you and make you stop. And that is for your soul's best interest. You're not going to like it. You're going to feel really challenged. You might actually end up hating this person. You know what I mean? Or at least in theory, right? You sit with it, you won't hate this person, but you're not gonna care for this person that much because they're gonna make you be the version of you you're supposed to be, right? I don't know if I'm talking. You all have very different lives. The only identifier I'm seeing is the house 11 of soul tribe, collective, group thinking. So somebody's coming in, they're going to challenge you, make you be the best version of you. I support it because I would like to see. Look at me. I say that because look at what's coming through with all these random cards I wasn't supposed to take. Mr. 3000, quest to prove oneself. It says pressure of expectations, second chances, and new beginnings. That is some elite achievement and winning. Onyx would like to see. So I support it. This is someone, like I'm saying, when it's all said and done, whatever area of life I'm talking about, you're going to be praised and recognized for it. That's what I'm saying, because house 11 is very open outside energy. It's a reason, like, it rules innovation, it rules technology, it rules like the digital age and social media, along with all of the traditional forms of community and culture, right? And humanitarian energy. So that's all themes here. So let me see. I almost jumped away from the graffiti deck, but I can't. This is another pile of needing inner child healing, because look at that. I have standing up for your younger self. Like, a lot of you are going to be doing it for your younger self. Like, the younger version of you was holding yourself back for whatever reason. You're going to step out of that, right? And I can't wait to see the unlock happen. So we got pink washing. Shout out to the color pink. Some people are going to live their truth, lean more into their personal truth and identity. Shout out to my LGBTQ plus cousins, I guess, because that's my peoples. I'm in an area where there's a large LGBT community. And everybody got their place, their space, and everybody's welcome here, because messages are for people, right? So if that aligns with you and you needed the personal touch, I could do a better job of calling that out, but it's never loud enough, if I'm being honest. But when it is, I do, right? For those of you that need that confirmation. But for those of you where you're not in alignment with that, we talk about being accepted for who you are, right? Because this card, I didn't want to call it out because I seldom do. But this talks about someone being fake and phony. Because we talk about, with this card specifically, a person or people that publicly claim to support underprivileged communities just in whole, but then turn around and do things that are very harmful to those communities. That could be sexuality, religious, cultural, race-based. And people like that could negatively impact you are being removed. It's basically people that don't believe in the program. It's like you part of this group, you don't really want to be here. You don't really want to engage. You're throwing everything off. Okay? The most lightweight version of that is just somebody that doesn't belong in a group that's throwing everything off, right? Whether that's you because you're not in your right place space, or if that's other people that's been throwing off what you're trying to get done because they're not really buying into it. Okay, so let me see. It's at the bottom. Bedwetting. Mocking someone for being overly fearful, unprocessed trauma, loss of control, shaming others. Yeah, like I'm telling you, once you get past that whole embarrassment and fear of like rejection or fear of like looking crazy, once you get over that, it's up and up and up from there. I'm so serious. Because there's a heavy energy of people pleasing that I don't support. And I don't say that in a judgmental way. I just don't support it. We got to break you out of that, okay? The people pleasing, the wanting to fit in, because fitting in is fine, but overly assimilating means you're not playing your position, you're not playing your role in the overall group, right? We all have things to do, we all have things to contribute, and sometimes your contribution is not always friendly. It's not always going to benefit someone else personally, but it's going to be better for the collective. And if it's better for the collective, then you see what I'm saying? So let me see what we got going on. My strawberry Blondie. This one wants to be here. Cognitive impairment. I'm going to take the bottom in a second. We have duplicitous, deceitful, two-faced, someone who presents one version of themselves while hiding their true intentions, double dealing to serve their own interests. If that's you, stop. Okay? I don't know if that's you or not. Because if that is, you're attracting the ability to not do that. That's probably that strict energy that hit the table. 100% exact same vibe with the pink washing. Okay? And anyone like that around you is going to feel the opposition. Is going to be challenges. So what's manifesting? What are you attracting? As you become more in alignment with your mission, you're either going to be removed, where the collective energy is just so out of alignment with that mission, or those within the collective that may be the bad seeds, we'll call them, will be shifted out. I don't know if I'm talking about y'all's careers. I don't know y'all like y'all organizations, whatever y'all got going on, community work, whatever it is, they're going to be shifted out because they really don't believe in the program, right? They're really two-faced. They don't believe in it. The people pleasing has you blinded and can't tell. Because no offense, it is easy to attract phony people when you slightly that way yourself. I'm not naming you. I'm just saying when you want to be very, what's the word I'm looking for? People that overly assimilate, right? That have that very political overlay and just want to be liked by everybody. It's easy to overlook when other people are being phony because in your mind, you're not. So you think that other people that are doing that are not either. But even if you're just doing it to be a people pleaser and to be friendly, there are people that are doing it to get over. And you're not catching the people that are trying to get over because you're overly identifying with people that quote unquote know how to act in certain situations. So like you're attracting the clarity, the revelation of that, of who is and isn't in alignment with your soul tribe. Okay, because that's the cognitive impairment, is the not catching on to that. Okay. Because some of you don't even realize it's people that are underestimating you and holding you back because they're two-faced. Okay? But the awakening elevates you in whatever we're talking about. I'm also seeing where this really two-faced energy is people that they're not built like that. Okay? Which is why they're assuming you're not built like that. Like if they can't, then of course you can't. That's the vibe. Okay? Whereas this is your path, this is your journey. We had some nodal indicators. Because I'm also seeing Y'all are putting too much faith in other people. I don't like that. Don't be more confident in other people than you are yourself. I'm seeing there's people you put on a pedestal, people you think are so great or possibly even better than you, that they're not as sharp as you. Okay? You are better than them. I don't normally say that because I don't normally support saying things like that. But whatever specific situation I'm talking about, the only reason you are not better than whoever, however, whatever this is because you're not acknowledging that you are. So you're living a life like someone that is not as good. Stop that. I don't support that at all. Let me see what we got going on. Yeah, I got to put a ring on it. That came out in the very, very beginning in the intro. It says official, wanting recognition for your worth, taking ownership, declaring loyalty, security, and promise. That's you. Some of you are going to get that commitment that you're seeking. Maybe it's love. I don't know. This is a lot of depth for love. I'm saying, not that love isn't deep. The layers here just feel like too much to be love. But whatever the collective community thing is, the putting a ring on it, that's a sign for you. Like you may be attracting that commitment, whether it's like some type of contract, acceptance in some type of group, loyalty and security within a group. Once you have that, run with it. You should be running with it because it's all you. Okay? Because what is this? Because some of you, that's what I'm trying to tell you is you got the loyalty, you got the commitment. Somebody may show you that they believe in you more than you believe in yourself, and the test and the challenge and the opposition is in them trying to wake you up, and you're just gonna have to run with it. Let me pull from this last stack and then we'll see what love has to say, because you got a lot of honesty coming in, right? Real talk, honest, direct communication, conversation. Somebody's gonna lay it all on the table and be very open and transparent about you and the situation. So we got an unfit. Somebody's unfit, mentally and physically incapable, thinking of oneself, incapable. Yep. Two sides, right? Neglectful. There is a side. Find yourself in a lesson in the journey. Find yourself in a lesson in the journey. Someone is not in their right place, right space. They're trying to fill a role that's not really theirs to hold. They cannot, whether that's someone that's going to be removed from your life or a situation you're going to have to move around from because it's not utilizing you the right way. I don't know what that means. There are others of you where you're going to have a very candid conversation. Put a ring on it. Is a commitment. Like, y'all know I'm a big key girl. It's like handing somebody the keys to a situation. Like, this, whoever was unfit, keys. I need you to take it. Okay? Especially where we're talking about people that are unfit for situations in group collective spaces because they have extreme bias. Okay? We're talking about people that are very prejudiced, right? Discriminatory, racist, all the things. I'm being so dramatic because the cards are that way, right? Someone that is unfit because they cannot mentally process how to see other people fairly. When we talk about, people that are from the queer community, people from various skin complexions, like somebody that just doesn't see everybody the right way and bases their thoughts on things that they should not be basing their decisions on. I don't know who I'm talking about. Okay? But it hit the table very loudly. Y'all are attracting, laying all that out on the table. Like, if y'all want truth and honesty, if y'all want the truth to be revealed, this is a pile of the truth is going to be revealed even to you. So much going on. I don't know why this ended up being that way. So how's it gonna, well, I'm gonna have to wait till the last deck to see now because I'm on these love decks. Yeah, let me see what these love decks are gonna say, and I'll use that last deck to just see what that got to do other than your ascension. Your soulmate's coming in. Got it. Okay. When you're ready to express your love, that soulmate's gonna come in. If a soulmate you've called in is in your vicinity, the ability to express your love is next, okay? Where we're going, we got a safe place and accountability. Everything we've been talking about, okay? All of these themes in this collective also translate to your one-on-one relationships, specifically love. You're going to have to be accountable to build a stable connection, okay? So it was really straightforward with that one. Now I can move on to this other deck and see how do we tie all this together for my pile 2. Okay. Prosperity in motion, opportunity knocking. Y'all all got the same vibe. Even though the reading is totally different from the previous piles, this one came through. Keep flowing in a direction of joy. When you move with trust, abundance moves with you. And the opportunity is knocking. Prosperity is in motion. Listen, I mentioned the keys. The opportunity is here. The prosperity is moving. It's up to you whether you're going to step into the confidence to really get it or not. Because this is a pile, again, before I get ready to take the bottom and close it, you have control over what is or isn't manifesting. Because I'm looking to see if this pile has the issues with holding the manifestations, and it's not. You just have issues getting them because you just don't get them. So unless you came from the previous pile, there's nothing in your way but yourself. And I'm not saying that there haven't been external influences, but I'm seeing here, your guys want you to know you gave those external influences way more power and authority than they did. You handed over. Basically, like I'm saying something about the keys, you just gave them the keys instead of just being who you're supposed to be and doing what you're supposed to be doing. You're very passive in a way that those external influences only affected you because you let it. It's almost like you can't stop somebody that's already doing it, if that makes sense. I don't know another way to describe it, but returning home is a thing. Belonging, purpose, and integration. It says your path may wander, but it leads you back to truth. Home is where your soul feels free to receive. Same vibe of everything we're talking about, right? Knowing where you belong, your right place, right space, being integrated in the right way, playing your position, playing your role, okay? So it was a lot. It was a mouthful. I barely remember what I was talking about. If you need to watch this more than once, go ahead, but get out of your own way, okay? So I'm going to move along to pile number 3. All right, pile number 3, my pink rose cake. We're going to take a look at what you're attracting with your divine feminine Venus energy. And the goal is basically to see what's manifesting as you prioritize your receptive magnetic side, right? So, interesting thing for everybody selecting this pile. It's up to you. It's no chaotic pressure, but I will make you aware you're immediately being called to that spirit animal bird reading that I just did. Now, it is a membership exclusive, so if you're a member, just go. But if you're not, keep in mind, it is behind a paywall. It just is what it is. I'm not moving it, right? So if you're called to it and you're able, that is where that reading is, because we already got the omen of the messenger and we've got the wisdom of the night, the owl. I believe this is a crow. They're both on that thumbnail. I'm not saying you're specifically redirected to one of these two birds. I'm just saying that video has a bird for you. This is just how we're identifying it. Okay, now that we've gotten that out of the way, you're attracting a lot of energy. Okay, case in point, the reason why this is a redirection is because, like, I'm hearing that just the spirit animal bird concept, like you have a spirit guide heavy over you, and that's supporting your abundance. Like, you're attracting divine support even more so. Okay, some of you are consciously doing that via your religious or spiritual practices, like you're enhancing your aura, or you are like your religion aligns with certain intermediaries, so you're working with them. That I see all of you here that are doing that, and I'm just making you aware that yes, it's being received. Yes, it is working. Yes, the connection is there. Okay. Outside of that, we also have an energy of the weeds being cleared. Because one of the things that this heavy spiritual aura, like of protection, whether via spirit guide, ancestor, intermediary coming through, it is to filter the negative messages you're getting. So basically, if people are lying to you in a way that's impacting you, these guides are there very loudly to call out the lie, whether via dream, whether via symbol, synchronicity. It's loud in the 3D to make sure that you are corrected and redirected on path. Okay. The types of people you're attracting, fewer, lesser. And when I say lesser, I mean in terms of amount, because now we're prioritizing quality over quantity. There's a lot of weeds around you, which is why you got the quantity over quality card. It's too many people, especially if you're doing really well, because cakeage represents, right, strings attached and celebration at a cost. Okay, so keep that in mind. But the birds, because even the cardinal technically hit the table when we talk about cardinal signs, that could be an ode to the bird. All of you with a bird as a guide hit the table. Okay, very aggressive spirit guide that's associated with that, or maybe it's just spirit animal bird itself if that aligns with your culture. It is one of wealth. It is one of cakeage. It is an omen. Okay, cakes are a symbol, right? This is the only cake on the thumbnail. Maybe you're being redirected to some cake. Okay, maybe cakes are relevant specifically. I know I have Cupcake Crush Chatter reading for those of you that are seeking messages in love. And I'm going to piggyback off of that because we do have Give Your Relationship a Chance regarding mischances and memories. There's someone specific that hit the table that this spiritual overlay is supporting you towards. Okay? It is a mischance. It is a memory. And it is a messenger trying to help direct you to that so that you give it a chance. Because there's a lot of weeds. There's a high quantity. And we're trying to filter through to get to the quality, right? All right, so so much going on. Look at you. These readings were more loaded than the bird readings today, which is interesting. I like when it happens for those of you on the public side, though. That way you can get messages as well. It just can't be a consistent thing because it's not realistic. So here, look at that harvest in alignment with that Seven of Pentacles. I'm actually holding this incorrectly. That some of you very clear. The owl is the loudest one, and it makes perfect sense based on that reading I just did. Because it just does not want to go away. It's very loud, it's aggressive, and all of the things. And that's also for full context, not only is the owl just loud around me and me trying to do these readings, but that is the bird that the members voted onto the thumbnail. Like, so I technically didn't have to put that one there, but majority rules, right? So tell me, the pink rose cake, what did I say you were attracting? Angelic support, divine support. Okay, that's what you're attracting. South Node, easy life. Look at you. And I'm not saying a life with no hardships. I'm not going to tell y'all a lie like that. Things are still going to happen. Life is going to life. But South Node is your comfort zone. It's everything that you were born in, just knowing how to do, right? So angelic support, keeping you in alignment with your comfort zone as you advance towards your North Node. But I don't know. Something about this era for this group, it's supposed to be easy. It's not supposed to be hard because for whatever reason, at this stage of your journey, your gifts, your skills, naturally, they feel like enough, okay? They do. The only difficulty will be in unlocking what you're naturally skilled at that you have not yet explored. But it's not going to feel crazy. It's going to feel divinely supported. So I love this ease, this comfort that's coming in. That's why the guides are so aggressive with this group and associated powers, because they're very hands-on with you in a way that I sense even as I'm trying to do the readings. Those of you coming from the spirit animal bird readings, you won't even know. Like I told y'all some stories about, like, these birds are loud for y'all, okay? So let me see. Tell me more about pile number 3, pink rose cake. Also, the reading that I skipped to do this one that I'm going to go back to after is a secret admirer reading. There is a pink rose there. No, that wasn't on purpose. But if you're called to pink roses, there you go. All right. Ace of Swords, clarity. Everything's going to be clear. The path is clear. Angelic support. I mean, is there anything else worth talking about? No more ability to self-sabotage, okay? No one's going to be able to be hyper competitive with you, okay? I'm not saying life is not going to life. I'm saying anyone that engages you in an unnecessarily competitive way, you're not going to have that anymore, okay? You're going to have the clarity of where people genuinely cannot compete with you. We all have our unique gifts and skill sets. When you align with yours in the right place and space, no one can touch you, okay? Everything about this pile feels just so easy. I hate telling y'all that. Not because I have anything against ease, but sometimes I'm ahead of you guys and I don't want y'all feeling like you don't have to do anything where you do. Look at that star energy. Path clean, road cleared, decision made, rolling with it. It's literally, this is the pile of, it's been decided. You are a star, you are the star. No matter how grand or small we're talking about, like there's something that you can do, that you're doing, or that you should be doing. And like the divine support says, yes, pile 3 is the one that's called to do it. We're going to send them there. It could be as simple as the call to be a teacher, a religious leader, like, you know, some of y'all are going to go be like pastors and things like that. Others of you are going to get the call to go work in like the medical industry, to do some humanitarian work, like whatever it is. Like if you've chosen a path, if you've awakened to a path, if you've leaned into a path, it's like, and I kind of wrote some notes on this, but sometimes you start getting spirit support, intermediary support in areas where you don't realize you're doing that because it's bigger than you, whatever you're doing. I used this example. It might have been a members exclusive reading because we never get that deep on the public side anymore. But I used the example of like a path can't be blocked by external circumstances when the path is not only yours. So I like to use teachers as an example. So like, let's say your life is so difficult that you cannot teach, or other people are making your life so difficult that you cannot teach, or people are trying to stop you from teaching. If there's a lesson that's supposed to be taught, right? And I'm not even talking about prophecy in a spiritual religious context. I'm just talking about if it's knowledge people need, like how to take care of themselves or how to progress in society, and you're the messenger for that, then who's anyone to say that they don't want you doing that, right? I'm not making it this huge rebellion thing. I'm just saying in general, it could be as simple as somebody hating on you and trying to stop you from getting a promotion, trying to stop you from getting a job. But at that job, you were meant to train that team. And maybe one of those team members is going to be, I don't know, going to go start their own company that's very innovative. And the skills you teach them are very critical in their developmental years. If that's the path, if that's your level of influence, then who's anyone to externally try to get in the way of that? That's basically what it is. And so this is why when we talk about spiritual support across planes, this is why people that may not even be religious or spiritual may seem very divinely supported, even in an intermediary sense. It feels like this is that group, regardless of how you feel, what you believe, and all of the things. Because if this, I know that this is one of the piles in this video that is in alignment with at least 2 to 3 of, that's why pick whatever bird, if you go there, you want, there's at least 1 to 2 of those spirit animal bird piles that very hands-on with me because of the way I'm supposed to give messages, how and when. Okay? So it is that intense because we're all connected and we all have a role to play in the collective. Okay? We got the Chariot, which is exactly what I'm saying. So now we have 3 out of 5 cards that are major arcana, which is divine energy. Okay? You will not be allowed to self-sabotage if you struggle with that. It's not going to always feel good. That's going to be the shadow of, and the things that are uncomfortable is the lack of ability to self-sabotage. Okay? Like you're going to be pushed. Okay? All right. Let me see where we're going with this omen. Some of you, the blessing is you will be able to retire early, or you're not going to have to work as hard later in life than you anticipated or as those that came before you. Okay, it says getting to live out their days in freedom, a nice nest egg, investing smartly for the future, wise choices. You're not going to be able to self-sabotage though. It's not really, you can't. Like it's not going to be allowed. Eye of the Storm. We got the main subject of public disagreement, temporary period of calm or stability, seeing things clearly. And you know what? The storm that is life, this era, I don't know how long it's going to last. Okay? This era of life is going to feel like an eye of the storm. Everything's going to feel very unnaturally easy. Your only challenges will be if you try to self-sabotage, right? But if you're in alignment with your nodal axis and your path, the road you're on, it's fine. Like it's going to feel like the eye of the storm. It's going to feel too easy. It's going to be like, okay, I got to brace myself because there's no way things are going to stay going as well as they are, because literally going to feel like divine path being cleared for you. Okay? So lean into that. And anytime you feel tension, it's because you're doing something off. You're misaligning with it. Okay? Let me see where we're going. I'm a little nervous about this pile myself because why is it the eye of the storm, right? Okay, that's a maturing energy. Oh, that's why. Congratulations if you graduated. And if you did not literally graduate, that is this judgment. This is the answering of the call. Some of you have mastered your South Node. Everybody, like I know that sounds crazy, but when you integrate your past lives, if you believe in that, or you just integrate, like if you take everything you're born naturally gifted at and you learn everything you need to learn and maximize that, boom. That's a clear path to your North Node because they're supposed to work in harmony, right? As long as you don't fear growth, everything you're comfortable doing is going to take you where you're supposed to go. Okay? And that's why we have the eye of the storm. But the maturing energy is the ringing of the alarm, the judgment. This is an answering of the call, okay? Something serious is about to happen, right? Empowerment or rebellion. And we have a boundary violator of something that constantly interrupts, overshares, blurs personal and professional lines, making others uncomfortable. You're going to very clearly see where your own boundaries have been crossed, where you are crossing boundaries, and how that's been a hindrance. And that is the path clearing. Because in this trumpet awakening, this ringing of the alarm, you graduate. Feels like you're closing a karmic cycle for sure. It's going to feel too easy. Just don't be thrown off by how easily it feels. Okay? Because whatever spirit animal you have, the birds that all hit the table, I feel like everybody here has at least one bird that they have a huge affinity for, even if it's not one that I've ever mentioned. Okay? But there's something about the birds literally like ringing the alarm on people. Because I mentioned it. I mentioned where people are trying to like lie, and then immediately that's a symbol that comes through and clarifies that that is in fact a lie. Okay? I'm serious. So let me see where we're going with this. Those of you that struggle with discernment, it's going to be amazing because you're not going to really need your own personal discernment. You're just going to be told what to do. And if you do it, you're fine. We have the unwitting muse. I've never seen this card before. It says inspires or impacts others without trying. See? Often drawing admiration, envy, or attention without seeking it. That's you. That's the vibe. That's you. Okay? You got the gravy train of easy money, little effort, big rewards, benefiting from others' work or luck, and overindulgence. Anybody that's been trying to get a free ride off of you on your chariot, the whistle, the alarm is going to go off for you to cut them off. And if you don't, they will be removed. I know sometimes it sounds real woo-woo. And even sometimes I sound like the energy on the table is exaggerating. But if you picked any of the piles in Spirit Animal Bird Reading where I told y'all experiences with some of these birds that I don't normally see, you know exactly I'm not exaggerating. Okay. So congratulations on some of you with the new car you're getting. It's real specific. Some of you getting a new car, a real nice car. Okay. Yeah. It feels like the luxury car you wanted, you're going to get. Okay. Obviously, all of you, okay. I talk about what you can contain, the maximizing of your manifestation potential, whatever the nicest car that you want that's going to be within your manifestation scope, you're getting it. It's going to be a nicer car than some of the people around you, because one of the things I'm seeing here is literally you're attracting the nice car that you really want, and don't be letting these people drive your car. Okay? Some of you need to be told that. I heard that explicitly, because you're the table is loud for you. Don't be letting these people drive your car if you need a car. Because even if you just need a car and you get a car and others just don't have a car, that's not your problem. Don't let them drive your car, okay? Boundary violators. Also, the other really important thing, this easy life, it is conditional to that specific path. So whatever the path is, whatever you're leaning into, whatever the South Node gifts are, leaning into that, committing to that makes your life easy. Almost unfairly easy. I got easy money here. Really little effort, right? It even says benefiting from others or feeling like luck, because some of you are going to have a life that maybe you consider to be a little overindulgent, but by nature of that, you're attracting that. Some of you have attracted that. Okay, and now the energy is protecting and maintaining that. And where you have that, the protecting and maintaining that, is that spirit animal presence, very, very loud, which is why those of you don't have to be psychic. You don't have to be highly intuitive. It may just freak you out because alarms, judgment, it's loud. Let me grab this deck. Because basically it's just to make your awareness. You're attracting the awareness of the divine support and the comprehension of what it's telling you. Don't be a martyr. Don't be a scapegoat. Don't be overly loyal. Okay? That said, you're up next, right? Your time is almost here. Get ready to receive any minute now. Let things flow. I love it. Okay. I'm seeing tickets to events and things like that. Great job, great work. You're going to attract so much energy. And I want to know that it is as above, so below. The support you have is basically the spirit team supporting you is willing to do whatever they got to do for you. Okay? That's what that martyr complex escape. They're willing to do whatever they got to do for you. You are up next. They making sure. Whatever you're working on, and I always say however grand or small, it's very, very important to at least someone. Okay? So it's important that you stay on path, because personally, if you're selfish, it benefits you. If I'm being honest, it feels like an amazing life for you. Because everything's just so easy. And you're attracting people that are like extremely loyal to you, that are, I really don't even like saying this because I don't know how it's going to come across to other people, because like this isn't like my personal beliefs or anything that people should or should not be anyway. I'm just seeing it on the table. Like, it's going to be people around you that's willing to do whatever they got to do for you. Like, so loyal, they willing to be scapegoat, willing to be a martyr for you. Like, it's people that would be willing to take like a bullet for you. And I know that's very extreme. Like, I personally see that as extreme, but that's what you're attracting. If it feels very quiet around you, this is the eye of the storm. Like, this is the quiet before the peak of all this loud energy I'm talking about. Okay, so let me pull from these other decks real quick. We're on a love stack, so let me see what this has to bridge in. Okay, you deserve love. Lean into the connection where you have a lot of chemistry, because it jumped off the table. So I don't know if you're running from somebody. Like, I don't know if you're running from somebody, if you're scared of somebody specific, but like, you can lean into the chemistry. You do deserve love. You don't have to run from it if that's a thing. I have, where are we else going? Oh, okay, you don't have to worry about it yet. It's okay to fall in love with this person. Someone you're reconciling with. There's some exciting news. Nothing chaotic. I'm not talking about a chaotic past, okay? You got divine union popping out. What's all the details? What's this? Yeah. Any move you need to make. Okay, if you're seeing sign, let me stop, because I guess I'm moving too quickly for the table and it's like throwing everything off. If you're seeing signs and synchronicities regarding a very specific person, not somebody where it's chaotic, the energy of this table is strict enough to where I don't even have to question. Where we talk about redemption, there's no redemption on this table. Okay, if it was chaotic, it's over with. This is a strict pile. If you need to make a move, you're being supported, divinely guided, and making that move. If someone you either been hiding from, dodging, whatever the thing is, makes a move, please know they were divinely guided in making that move. It's exciting, especially if they have exciting news and they use that as a icebreaker, because there's a specific union that is supported, right? That's why we had the divine union card, not because it's not a divine union, but because there's a lot of touching of this connection. Like, there's a lot of touch hands on this when we talk about the higher planes. So let me see where else we're going with this. Some of you are going to get, someone's going to make a move, or you're going to make a move, and it's going to be really exciting because it's going to be what you wanted, the outcome. And you know what? There's no way this card fell in upright, because it should have fallen in reverse by the way that it hit the floor, but it fell upright. I mentioned very, very unfairly easy life if you lean into this path, right? I actually think one of the bird readings had this message. I do not remember which one, because I haven't written the notes yet, but rest, reflection, renewal. Maybe it's the eye of the storm, because it does say pull back to reconnect. Stepping away may be the exact thing that moves your abundance forward. So you're all at various stages. Like I always say, past, present, and coming. Some of you are stepping into the eye of the storm. This reset, this recovery, this renewal is exactly what you're going to need to reach that peak. Others of you are in the middle of it and you're wondering why everything's so quiet. This is why. Others of you have already stepped out of the eye of the storm, and it's loud, including whatever the bird is I'm talking about. And this is why. I'm just confirming for you, all right? At the bottom, I have that crowned potential. Authority, power, purpose. It says you are already royalty in your realm. What I've been talking about, okay? It says to claim your value. Abundance responds to self-recognition. I already told you. This is a soft reset of a crown so that it can reach its full potential. All right. So I'm going to close you out and move along to pile number 4. All right. Pile number 4, my raspberry tiramisu. We're going to see what you're attracting, your divine feminine Venus energy. And basically, we just want to see what's manifesting as you prioritize your receptive magnetic energy, okay? So let me get an overview, which hilariously enough, we have the yin card of receptivity already at the bottom. So let's see where we're going with this for my pal 4. If the tiramisu is like, that's the specific reason why you just picked the tiramisu, that is a theme that recurs on the channel. There are some matcha ones in the playlist, and there are also members exclusive Tiramisu Truth series that if that's something that was calling you, you can go to it. So this is going to be the one pile today where I accept 2. So shout out to you. You're going to get extra Lulanyap. Whatever you're attracting, you're going to desire a manifestation, right? And then you calling that in, you're going to call in extra stuff that benefits you or that aligns with that. So I love it, right? Especially those of you with the career. Shout out to those of you with that loud owl. You know, this is a redirection. Those of you where you're coming from that owl, the most recent members exclusive one, I forgot to mention how this random necklace popped up one day. It definitely did. Like, that's one of the stories that I was trying to tell y'all about that as a spirit animal bird. So here we are, here we go. You're one of the piles that was called from that one. And I think just a lot of you want to elevate your status in life. When we talk about your career, your social status, your reputation, all of the things that you can be recognized for accomplishing and achieving. And that's cool. You'll get that. What is this extra that comes along with it? Hey, if you have South Node in or conjunct your 10th house, then you're in your right place, right space. That goes for natal placements as well as transits. Now, the thing that I do want to make you aware of, people with that or having transits transition their houses like that, very comfortable with attention and recognition and being elevated. But that's not necessarily the path. I don't want to go off topic with this. So let me see what's at the bottom first. We have the sun, especially if we're talking about the sun in house 10 on your South Node. Very, very comfortable with attention and doing well and perceived success. Okay, so just know that. You don't have to have these placements. That's just the energy you're aligned with right now. Okay, but keep in mind, that's not necessarily where you're meant to go. You're comfortable with it. It feels very blessed. It feels very easy. I want to pull more cards before I lean into the really positive side of that. Not because it doesn't exist, but because I don't want to tell y'all a half truth. Let me see where we're going with this. Okay. A personality, very distinct one to set the table. Got it. One more, please. Oh, look, y'all know I always like to see these together. It's a very interesting personality. So, and it makes sense because it has aligned with people that would normally have those placements. People that are very comfortable with success and recognition don't necessarily always want it, if I'm being honest. So there's a group of you that really, even if you say consciously you do, on a subconscious level, you're not really interested in that attention. Okay. And then there are others of you that and I say that because I think that's really all encompassing of all of the personalities I'm seeing here. I see people that are chasing something that on the subconscious level they don't necessarily want. And I also have some people that are very conscious of their actual desires that are not really looking for that. And they're worried that in them not really chasing accomplishments, praise, and accolades, that they're not gonna see success. Because a lot of times success goes hand in hand with recognition. Like if you're not being recognized, then you're not successful. right? So it's people that are not necessarily wanting the attention, but they feel like if they're not getting the attention, then the success isn't there. So it's like a double-edged sword, right? With the two swords. So be cool. Don't stress it, because I see the success. I see the manifestation of the success without the lack of boundaries. Okay? Because this is someone that's kind of like avoidant of chasing something that they want in the Three of Cups, out of fear that they will lose those same 3 cups and be left with none, right? That's the anxiety in the 9 of Swords. I always compare these two because 3 of Swords and 3 of Cups is 3 cups celebrating. 5 of Cups is the 3 of them spilled over. Okay? So, let me see more. Oh, look. See what's at the bottom of your reset? Main character. Stepping into your power, pressure, and spotlight, seen and heard. You shape the narrative and you can't hide. Some of y'all really, like, I don't know what to tell you. That comes with the territory. It's nothing to be worried about. Because some of you are going to have to, some of you are going to, in order to reach your full manifestations, you're going to have to break that subconscious or conscious block of the fear of exposure, of putting yourself out there, of needing to hide, okay? Because that's going to block your inheritance. That is what you're supposed to have, okay? Yeah, we got spiritual abuse, uses religion or spirituality to control, manipulate, or keep someone in a toxic relationship. Oh, trauma dumping. I hate saying this because I don't want to like throw people off, because y'all know I got a lot of respect for all religions, but there are some very distinct ones that shun the desire for further connectivity with the material plane. So basically, like, I believe as above, so below. But like, there are a lot of religions and spiritual practices where detachment from the material 3D plane is the most ideal state, as in you not really, they discourage you from engaging in material desires and pleasures. Like, wanting to have money is like not necessarily frowned upon, because I'm not gonna lie and say that there aren't religions that some of these religions don't want you to have a stable life, but it's like chasing more is perceived as like greed. Some of y'all have religious trauma or spiritual trauma where having more feels bad and surfaces guilt within you. Watch that. Tap in with the site, okay? Especially those of y'all that are coming from memberships. I see y'all in here. Make sure you sign up for the onyxkey.com. Like, I have some stuff I'm working on to help at least guide you to the resources you're going to need to break that through. You're not going to be able to hold on to success for very long unless you break that out of yourself. We have to break you out of that. Otherwise, you're going to keep seeing states where you avoid the trauma, and then you see the 3 of Cups, and then you lose the 3 of Cups, and you're left with the 2, and you have to go back. Like, you're going to spike up and down if you don't clear that specific wound. Okay? Where you have negative implications of people you associate with success and being financially stable or having lots of money. If that's a goal of yours and you have the potential to achieve it, it's going to throw you off. Okay? For those of you that have that. Where else are we going with this? Especially if it was from how you were raised, because I just saw the overbearing parent. I'm not talking about any of y'all's parents, okay? I believe that everyone does the best that they can with what they have, with what they know, okay? You have modest genius, someone who is brilliant but unassuming, not boastful, let their work speak for itself. I'm very happy about this group. Trauma needing to be addressed aside, because most of you are not actively seeking attention. You have to get comfortable being recognized, right? You're very modest genius in something, but you have to be open to being recognized. Because yes, the work is going to speak for itself, but the psychological limitations you're having is gonna shrink your container, and you're not going to be able to hold that praise. You're not going to be able to hold the accolades, right? If you want whatever your work to be to speak for itself, you still have to be willing to put it out there, if that makes sense. And you shrinking yourself, you're shrinking its ability to expand. I hope that makes sense. I don't know what context I'm talking about because you're all doing different things. But like, let's say you're at work and you're really good at your work and you don't engage and you don't, you shrink yourself. Well, no, you don't want the attention, but I think you might want that promotion. You can't get the promotion because you're too quiet. You're not showing that you're capable of leadership. You're not showing that you're even interested in ascending beyond that, right? So you start limiting your opportunities in different areas of life. Okay? So just don't let your religious or spiritual belief system shrink you, because I think I had a pile in probably a members exclusive reading where I talked about fake humility, in that where we tell ourselves we're being humble because and by being humble you're taking less, you're accepting less, you're being less. But that's not humility, because in order to express true humility, you have to have something to be humble towards. That's the true test of actual humility, right? Anybody could be humble when they have nothing, when they're not anything, when they're not expressing anything. So the true test of actual humility, if we want to use it in a religious context, is how do you behave when you have something that could put you in an arrogant state, right? Like if you achieve and you have more, you can still be humble while having a lot, or being a lot, or expressing yourself confidently. That's what I feel is the true test of humility. There's a lot of religious and spiritual baggage here that I'm not equipped to unpack. I would advise some counseling, and I actually would advise counseling with like a psychologist, someone that specifies in like religious or spiritual unpacking. Because any random counselor is not going to benefit you, okay? For this group where that I'm seeing here, okay? Blackballs. So ostracized, excluded from a group due to disapproval or negative actions, intentionally shut out. If you are being put out of anything in terms of religious, spiritual group, career, if you're in an energy that would be alienated or aligned with blackballed energy, it's because you have main character energy, okay? And some of you know this, you know your potential, but you were kind of raised to be very modest and humble. And that's not benefiting you, because you're still ending up in situations with people that have main character energy, because being a modest genius doesn't change the fact that you have main character energy. Anyone that has an issue with someone's potential is going to spot that a mile away, even if you're trying to shrink yourself. Okay? So that is why those instances happen. I'm not saying you're attracting more of that, but if you do, that is why. Okay? Let's see. Where else are we going with this? You're much greater than you're allowing yourself to be. There's actually another pile with the same vibe. I have old school, traditional, and classic, choosing substance over trendiness. I'm trying to like slide my nails so I can see. And I'm dropping a card. Yearning for the past or realness. There's a certain depth that you're seeking, and you will be attracting people, lovers, friends that align with it. Okay? We got a dad bod, letting go of rigid ideas, grounded masculinity, balance between comfort, responsibility, and self-acceptance. Maybe more mature people. Okay? Regardless, it just feels like being grounded. I actually see a lot of mature masculines like stepping in a very friendship. So like I see a lot of more mature masculines stepping in terms of friendship and support, like genuinely. That's why we have the dad vibe, okay? Like very old school in approach, nurturing, supporting, guiding, true mentorship here, okay? So good for you. So I've got one more stack here. It's so quiet. I'm trying to like see what else we've got. I feel like I'm even feeling people stepping into this pile that are uncomfortable with the reading. Some of y'all are new to tarot readings and it's making you uncomfortable. And that's why it's so quiet on the table. But I mean, it's okay. It's fine. Let me see where we are with this. Okay, I'm gonna take these two. We'll come back to the bottom. Permission slip. See, giving yourself freedom to feel, acting or choosing, no longer needing outside approval. Okay, you're attracting. So the alienation, any whatever form that means for you, like if you're feeling alienated, that is to get you to not be concerned with other people because you have this main character energy. The fear of being seen still comes from caring what people think, right? Like it's the same, it's one other end of that same polarity. It's people that are really attention seeking, really desperately wanting the attention and being excited that they're not going to make it and that they're not going to be seen. And then there's the people that are deeply afraid of being seen, that not really interested in that same vibe. Okay. Yeah, we got unalive here, silenced voice, spiritual numbness, someone that has passed. Do not overreact to this card. I'm so glad I'm an experienced reader. This is the end of a cycle, okay? This is the end of a cycle where you shrink yourself, where you hide your voice. Go to counseling regarding the emotional, spiritual, religious trauma you have. I'm so serious because spiritual numbness and spiritual abuse is here. So go to, see, we got all that trauma. Go to counseling about that. I'm so serious. Not a religious home for it, because that's a biased state. I'm not saying anything negative about religious or spiritual people. They're not always necessarily equipped for the things that you may need, not only psychological, but possibly neurological support in. Okay? It's going to be in your soul's best interest to do that. But you are attracting the resources, right? You just have to take advantage of them. So you will have the resources to work through whatever that trauma is, that blockage is, towards your manifestations. Because like I said, it's not, manifesting is one thing. Maintaining and managing your manifestations are another, right? Fear of being seen, fear of success, fear of failure, all of that hit the table in a way that it needs to be unpacked professionally so that you can progress. Let me see what we're doing here. I got love on the table, so why not? I got my, I'm on my last two decks, which are love related. So let's see. Yeah, it's okay. You're gonna have true love. You're definitely manifesting that. But the priority is unpacking what I just said, because you have to feel safe for it. And in order to feel safe for it, you have to love yourself first, which means you may need to take a step back romantically to work through this. Yeah. Because the fear of exposure is a limitation. Just like the need to be seen is a limitation. I didn't lean into that side heavily. I do want to touch on it really quick, but it wasn't the dominant energy. The dominant energy is those that fear being seen and have a lot of trauma that's going to stop them from maximizing their potential. Because here's the core issue of the blockage to attracting on both sides. Those that need to be seen, that are chasing attention, the attention seeking nature is masking their actual gifts and the things they want to be seen for. So it comes across as being really phony and doing too much. So, and in doing that, you're not getting the recognition or praise because people are tired of you. I'm not laughing to be mean, but it's, you know what I mean? Like when something's overbearing, that's really what it is. The easiest thing there is just dial it back and be confident in yourself enough to let the work speak for itself, the things you're doing speak for itself, because the recognition and praise will come organically. You don't have to chase it. That's another reason why, even though that's not the louder energy on the table, I didn't need to go that much into detail with it because it's easy. Stop doing too much, right? The shadow is traumatized. I said shadow, the other end of polarity is needing shadow work because they're traumatized and that they're self-sabotaging their work, not because people are tired of them, but people don't know that it's there, or something weird with the way they interact with people. I don't know. It's there and it needs professional work. Okay. It needs professional touching. Okay. Because like I said, even here, it's like before you get to love, you got to feel safe enough to love, safe enough to be received, which starts internally and retreating, and then it'll happen. So let me see. I got one more love deck that I do need to pull from because I did it for everybody else. What else do we have for this raspberry tiramisu? Yeah, inner fears. Okay, I'm gonna get one more. The stability, the security of inner fears. Okay, that's what you need. Remote island, overqualified. You're much more than you're allowing yourself to be. This is just about needing to see yourself and your life a little more clearly. What I love is that some way, somehow, whether it's you doing what I'm telling you to do or just the cards aligning in a way where opportunities present themselves, you will release this, because I'm asking what you're attracting. You're not attracting the negativity. You're attracting the clarity of the negativity that I'm telling you needs to be unpacked and healed. So the healing is actually what you're attracting. I'm just encouraging you to take initiative to make it, you know, I'm the type to bust a move. I'm like, let's go, let's roll, let's fix it. So I'm willing to say, hey, go to counseling. That's going to benefit you. But even those of you where that just is not something I know you're going to do, the clarity and the healing is still going to happen. It may take a little longer or may be unconventional in nature, but your soul's best interest is aligning with you. Okay. I love it. So let me see what else we've got for my last deck. Sea of emotion. See, look at that endurance, that healing, and that navigation. It says, don't fear the waves. They're clearing space. Let your feelings move through so wealth can move in. The blockages I mentioned, right? And anchored in desire says stability, devotion, and grounding. And it says, anchor your dreams in what you love most. Stability isn't restriction. It's the foundation that lets the abundance rise. So managing your emotions, being grounded, being stable. Some of you don't have stability because of the reasons that I said. When I talk about like just having all of your basic needs met, being in survival mode, it's that trauma. And I don't want to make it too esoteric, because I like, one of the things I work really hard on and am is the ability to interpret these very woo concepts in a very grounded, practical way. So when I say that you have a blockage to abundance because you have a lack frequency that stems from religious or spiritual trauma, I'm not saying that every failure in life or the reason maybe you're struggling to find a job or whatever is because faith. I'm saying we all operate through the lens of our minds. Yes, consciously, but our subconscious, right? So there are things you do that you don't realize you're doing, right? There are things you think that force you to move in a way that you don't quite realize. Like there's a lot of ways that everything is intertwined. So no, you're not in control of everything external, but sometimes as people, we tend to give way too much of our power away to the external circumstance. And I often do see it with people that are religious Okay? That's not offensive, right? I think religion is beautiful when done right in all of its forms. It's just that sometimes people cling to something as a means to not have to take accountability and to surrender their power. And I don't think that's healthy. It feels like this is a group of doing that. Okay? But working through that's gonna really unlock a lot. Stay tapped in with the site. Go to onyxkey.com and bring that to your counseling when it goes live. We got a gentle watcher of awareness, letting go, and trust. It says you don't have to control to prosper. Observe with trust. You'll know what is meant for you and what is not. You got support. You don't even realize you got a gentle watcher. Maybe it's one of those spirit animal birds. Maybe I do have the owl on the table. And when I say the spirit animal birds, I mean like in whatever religious, spiritual, cultural context that makes sense, right? Because it sounded very Disney movie-like when I said it, the way that I said it, but that's not what I mean. You are attracting support in the 3D though. Please know. I see friends, I see elders, right? Gently watching, gently supporting, gently making sure you're good, okay? All right, so I am going to close you out. Thank you so much for supporting the channel.